Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Solar Sales Uncensored. I am your host, Aaron Browning, and we have a big show in store for each and every one of you today. I got my good friend Gustavo with us. Before I actually pull him up on the stage, I want to give his brief background so that I grab every single person's attention. Many times, our guests over the past several months have been in the solar game for 5, 10, 20 freaking years. Our next guest has been in for just 2 years, and he is crushing the scene. In that 2-year period, he's already eclipsed the $1 million income mark. Like, how badass is that? That is so freaking dope. He obviously comes from sales to be able to get numbers like that. He's been in the sales game for over 23 years. He's going to talk about his sales journey in this podcast. He's going to share how that sales background has changed the game in his solar journey. He's also going to share how his first month in solar, he was able to get 4 deals closed for over $40,000 in take-home commissions in his first 30 days, which is so freaking exciting. Most importantly, though, he's also a U.S. Army vet. And so first and foremost, I want to say thank you for your service, my friend. I speak for everybody, but we appreciate you. And Gustavo, how the heck are you, man?
Good. You, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really excited for this. I know we're a lot the same in that we talk from the cuff, that this is going to be fully uncensored, and we don't even know where it's going to go, and that has me excited, man.
Yeah, I can be a little uncouth, but correction on what you said, almost $1 million.
Almost $1 million. Okay.
But getting there.
How close?
800 something. Yeah.
That's incredible. So over 800K in his first 2 years, brand new to solar. Definitely a topic we're going to spend some time on. Gustavo, if you don't mind, man, let's talk a little bit about your sales journey, a little bit more about your past and what led you to solar.
So I joined the military right out of high school. I wanted to be a combat medic because I saw the movie Hamburger Hill. And I was like, yeah, I want to help people. I don't want to kill people. I want to help people. So I was thinking, I wonder if there's a job in the military that I could help people, not kill people. So I watched Hamburger Hill and I said, that's it. I want to be a combat medic. And so I went to the Marine Corps, and the Marines don't have medics. It's Navy corpsmen. So the Army was across the hall. And coincidentally, my best friend went into he's now a command sergeant major, a big motivational speaker, Max Garcia, but he went in Marine Corps and I went in the Army as a combat medic because they had a slot for combat medic. So I think my sales started there because I don't take no for an answer. So they shipped me up to MEPS, where you enroll into the Army. And I was already learning the takeaway and learning don't take no for an answer. I never did as a kid. My God. So I went there and they said, we don't have a slot for combat medic. And I was like, I'm not signing up. I said, here I am. I'm 17, I think. And I said, I looked at the first sergeant and I said, well, dude, let me talk to whoever's in charge of you. And he just looked at me like, who are you?
Yeah, you're probably a punk little kid is what he's thinking. Challenging him.
Signing shit. Hold on. Let me go talk to somebody. And they're trying to pull the sales good cop, bad cop on me. And I recognized it early. I figured out I was good at reading people at an early age. And I looked right at the command sergeant major, pulled me in his office, and I didn't know rank and all that shit then. And I was like, I looked right at him. I said, dude, you give me combat medic and airborne school, because I want to be an airborne combat medic. And he looked at me and he says, okay. I said, all right, I'll make a slot for you. I said, all right, good. Then I'll sign. And then I signed and I got my orders for basic training Fort Leonard Wood for the Army. And anyway, long story short, went there, got through that, and then went to combat medic school at Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio. And then went from there to airborne school. And I remember getting smoked. I remember I was on the harness on the second week called you got tower week, jump week. Anyway, it was the second week. It's where we jump off like a wall, like a 15-foot wall. And you got to land a certain way to roll so you don't break your legs. So you learn to jump in combat bits. You learn to jump from 15-foot wall. And then we did that, and I mastered it. Because if you land wrong, you can break your legs. It's called a PLF, parachute landing fall. And I remember I got caught in the harness, and I was hung upside down, and the jump master's all in my face, and he yanked me from it, and they throw me in the office, and they're smoking me for an hour and a half push-ups. And I was like shaking. And I remember thinking, you want to quit? You want to get out of here? And I got 4 people in my face telling me I'm a piece of shit to just tap out, get out of here. And I didn't. I remember thinking, shaking, I was hitting my wall, and I'm thinking, I was like, fuck, if I can do this, I can do anything.
So it's almost like a mindset breakthrough,
it was
man.
Like, dude, if I can do this, I can do anything. And nobody's ever going to tell me no. And people can tell me no, but I'll find a way because I'm not going to take no for an answer. I am not a quitter. And I didn't then. And that was like that mindset. From there, I can do anything. So anyway, and that kind of motivated me to, but I didn't know yet that I knew I had the gift of gab. I just didn't know that. I just didn't know. I could talk my way in and out of any situation. I just didn't apply it to sales yet. I didn't get it. And so anyways.
So when did that shift happen? When did you start to apply that gift from God to sales?
It was, let's go. And I get on a tangent, Aaron, I know. And so anyway, so I wanted to, in the Army, when you PCS, you have, in the Army, you have to do a tour overseas in your 4-year commitment. So I knew that I was going to get sent to South Korea, or I was going to get sent to Germany. I wanted to be control of that. So I skipped the whole chain of command, and I called the Pentagon. I skipped the whole chain of command. This is the first time telling this. And I got on the phone with DA at the Pentagon. So I completely skipped the full bird colonel, and I went straight to the Pentagon. And I just found somebody that in the Pentagon on the DA 800 number, four officers that's in charge of PCSing. And I said, look, is there a slot? I just went into, look, I'm just a E4 here at Fort Bragg. I've got 40 jumps out of a perfectly good airplane. I'm tired of jumping. It's already been 2 years. I'm ready to go. And I know that they're going to send me to South Korea. And I don't want to go to South Korea. Is there any other choices, slots for combat medic? And she's like, we do have one slot with the UN in Egypt on the Red Sea. And I'm like, and I'm a scuba diver. So the best fucking place to scuba dive in the world is the Red Sea. So I'm like, yeah, that right there I knew. And she gave it to me. And then orders came down out of nowhere for the UN and the Red Sea, the MFO, Multi-International Force Observer, which is a fucking great job. And everybody's like, how'd you get that? And the first sergeant's like, how did this happen? You're going to South Korea. I said, I don't know. Yeah. But that was the first time I realized, hey, I'm not, if I want to get what I want, you got to persistence and figure out a way. So that's
a lot of lessons there, man. I'm a big believer. You don't get what you don't ask for. That right there is lesson learned.
Right.
You know, everyone else is just sitting here being reactive. They're going to get assigned. You're like, dude, let me go hunt. Let me go figure it out. Let me go chase what I want.
Exactly. And that's when I started to learn that. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, persistence. And once again, don't be like the sheep and just sit back and wait. Because if you sit back and wait and let someone else figure it out, you're going to be left behind. Forget that. You need to be a leader and figure it out. Or that's what successful people do. So anyway, so I PCS to the Middle East. Long story short there, I was, this is where the sales part started coming in. All right.
Let's hear it.
I'll make this story quick. It can be a long story. I'm going to try to shorten it up. Okay. So I'm dating this girl in Israel. Sinai is her name.
Every good story starts with I'm dating this girl.
This hot girl, dude. She looked like Penelope.
Oh, it gets even better.
She looked twin of Penelope Cruz. I was in love with her. She was totally hot.
That's dangerous.
And she spoke Israeli. Her dad was Arab, so she was Israeli, Arab, Muslim, and so she spoke fluent Arabic and fluent Hebrew and fluent English. The full-board colonel, I was a driver. Not only was I a combat medic and flight medic for the UN, but the full-board colonel, our force doctor for the whole UN, asked me to be his driver. And me and him became friends. And Colonel Waters said, hey, Gus, he says, hey, we got to go to Israel. I got to do heart surgery. I said, but you know what? That's only going to take 4 hours. And we could take 5 days and go to Jerusalem and get paid TDY. I'm like, awesome. TDY is like $100 a day or $200 a day. For an officer, it's like $500 a day. For me, it was like $100. And we could take 5 days and go to Jerusalem for Christmas. I'm like, all in, let's go. I was like, Colonel, can I pick up my girlfriend too? Do you mind? Oh, yeah, sure. Let's go. So we take the UN vehicle we get a 12-pack of beer from the liquor store there on post because it's so cheap. And we throw that. It was like a 24-pack or something. And we head to the border. We head to Rafah border in Egypt and Palestine. And then we cross over we go down to Tel Aviv. I pick up Sinai. And then we head to Jerusalem. I go into this Kodak shop in Jerusalem, long story short. And it's this Greek Orthodox family. And he looks at me now. This is 1997, the Jubilee of the 2,000-year birth of Christ. So Israel had spent $40 million fixing the roads because they were expecting about 400,000 tourists. It just dawned on me that we're in Jerusalem. It's Christmas Eve, and we're only an hour from Bethlehem. What the fuck? So I'm like, oh, what the heck? Sorry. And can you edit that?
Okay. You're all good, man. Roll.
So then I said, Colonel Waters, how do we get to Bethlehem? He said, you got to have tickets or something. So I go in his Kodak shop and I'm just developing film thinking, we can't go. The guy looks at me and says, hey, son, he says, I got 2 tickets to Bethlehem for the Jubilee to get into the city for Chris. I can't make it. Do you want to go? I said, sure. So he handed me the 2 tickets. Now it's me, Colonel Waters, and Sinai. So we didn't have enough, but I didn't tell him because I was going to figure out how to get in there. So I told Colonel Waters, hey, I got 3 tickets for the Bethlehem, and I held him up like this. I got him, let's go. He says, I don't think we can do that because at that time we were soldiers that couldn't cross into Palestinian territory without permission. So I told Colonel Waters, let's change out of our clothes. Let's get in civilian clothes and just follow my lead, Colonel. He said, okay, let's go. We got a taxi cab. We headed to Bethlehem. Now there's 2 checkpoints. Okay. If they knew we were officers and NCOs, then they probably would have been a problem. So Sinai, I told him to tell him we're tourists coming from America. Sinai told him in Hebrew and she was our guide. Boom. So we got through that checkpoint, got through another checkpoint. I had paid them $20 each. I told Colonel Waters to pay him. So he just flipped out 20. Boom. We got through there. We get to Bethlehem, right? Real long story short, there's 4 gates. Okay. In order to get to the gate inside the church, you had to be a president of a nation, a diplomat, or a governor of a state or a congressman. All right. So long story short, I sold my way through that checkpoint. When we got to that checkpoint, I had the 2 tickets, but the 2 tickets were only to get into the city, not to get into the church. So then real quick, so I got through that checkpoint. I told Colonel Waters, listen, we're going to pay. They had this big video screen of 30 kids singing from every country in the world. And I looked at this Palestinian. I told Sinai to tell him we'll give him $50 to sneak us in. So he took us under the bleachers while they're broadcasting on CNN and Fox and everything. And we're sitting there jumping over wires and climbing through. We get through to the courtyard. All right. But the 2 tickets were only to get into the city. So here I am with 2 tickets, let alone 3 of us are there. So I look at one of the guards and I give him $20 and I said, look, can you just let us in with these diplomats? He said, look, just blend in with the Dutch congressmen that are coming through and I'll let you in. I'll turn my head. So I gave him like 2 and 40 and 40 or 50 and 50 for his brother. So we had already spent like $200 getting here. So now they let the diplomats in and now we're in the front of the church at the door. And I'm behind this. Behind this priest, and the priest looks at me and says, "Son, he says he heard me talking to Sinai. I look at Colonel Waters. I said, dude, I got 2 tickets to get into the city. I didn't have 3. I lied." Colonel Waters said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And then I look at this priest. The priest turns around and goes, "You need a ticket?" I said, "Yeah." He hands me another ticket for Colonel Waters, and Colonel Waters. This is when we got this far. All right. And then get this. So then the priest looks at me and says, "Son, they're opening the doors to the church." And it was at 10 p.m. And they open up the doors. He raises his hand. He says, "Hey, grab my hand." Boom. He grabs my hand. He grab your friends. I grab Colonel Waters, grab Sinai. He holds up his hand. The Palestinian guards part, all the diplomats part, and we're the first ones in the church. He happened to be the cardinal for Jerusalem to the Vatican. And he was running the whole show. So he sat us.
You just got to put yourself in the venue. You know what I mean? Put yourself in the right place.
And he sat us right up front next to the nuns of Calcutta, the president of Palestine, Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, right up front. It was hilarious. We were in there before anybody else. And Colonel Wooders looked at my hands like that. He rubbed his hands. He says, Gus, he says, never. He says, you're not re-enlisting. I said, what? He said, nope, I'm not going to let you re-enlist. Because my re-enlistment was coming out. It says, you're getting out. You're going to either become a real estate agent or a defense attorney because you're the best damn salesman I ever met in my life. So wow. that's when I triggered me to go into sales. Anyway, so I got out of the military, went into mobile home sales, was number one in the nation for Oakwood Homes, and that's how the sales career blew up.
Amazing story, man. And I love the fact that's never been shared on, especially publicly. Now you're going to have thousands of people watching it, which is cool. So let's fast forward a lot, but also go back. So 2 years ago, you guys started this.
So anyway, I was in timeshare, sold timeshare for 12 years. I did the car business for 3 years. Before that, I did. And then in 2019, job, by the way. COVID hit. Lost my job at Virginia Beach. Moved, started over. Moved in with my girlfriend's mother, with my 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Had nothing. Lost everything, furniture, everything. We had one car and a car payment. And then my mother had an apartment building in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. She had one coming open and let me have it for $500 a month. And then I started looking at ways I could work online. A friend of mine in the timeshare industry called me and said, hey, I'm doing solar. So I said, awesome. I'd like you to come do this, dude. It's just like same pitch as timeshare. Okay. All right, cool. So boom. I flew out there to Missouri. I did one show with him. 1, 2, 3 shows. And he wanted me to be the podium speaker. So I did a podium speaker selling solar. And I did it for 40 minutes. And then I got to sit with a client after I did the podium. And we had 3 rounds per day. And I sold everybody I sat in front of on solar. So I said, okay, I'm getting paid $500, $600 for each client I closed. So then I got online and I researched, hey, how can I sell this, do my own podiums on Zoom, and who can I work for and make my money? And I found Power on YouTube. And then I advertised, then I started going through a friend of mine knew somebody in solar that owned a marketing company. So then I found out he was in Power. So I interviewed him and a couple other people. And I said, look, I'm going to come into Power, but I need some kind of marketing tools right away. And they're like, okay. And so that was in February. Adam Favre had already realized I got to get the gab. He actually.
That's so funny you mentioned him, man. I'm a partner of his as well.
So we're on the.
One of my CRMs.
Yeah, that's my CRM, RDT.
I interviewed
so I've been.
Yeah. Wow, what a small
me and him
world.
got together, and I got into solar. Long story short, I went in May 12th is when. Okay, so I was on unemployment. So I was with Sun Solar for a minute, and I realized that I could do this solar thing, and I was only there for maybe a month, not even. They found that, so I signed up for Power under Adam Favre. Because we were going to collaborate together and he was going to let me use the CRM. That was the deal. And I would tag him as mentor in my first 3 deals. So that was the deal we made. Yeah. And then we would collaborate together and make some ads that we could launch on Facebook. So we did that. So I signed up and now I was collecting. The solar company found out I joined Power. So they fired me. All right. So I said, okay. So now I went on unemployment. So now I'm collecting unemployment. I have no money living. So I took my unemployment. I lived off $100 a week. I took my unemployment and I just saved it because I knew I needed to buy ads. So come May 12th, I launched our Enphase versus Tesla. Me and Adam collaborated on that. We realized batteries were the future. So we focused on an ad in all the markets of Powers in California, Northern, Southern Cal on Enphase versus Tesla. And boom, that's what we did. And I got lead after lead. My phone, I did $150, $200 a day for 2 weeks straight. And we were just getting calls left and hand over 10, 15 calls a day. And I was just working them. And then boom, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 right away, May 12th to May 21st. Signed my first contract May 23rd. And then second one, May 27th. So first one was $16,000 commission. Second one was $22,000 commission. The first one was 4 batteries. The second one was 3 batteries. And with solar, the third one was batteries only with 8 panels. And then the fourth one was battery. And I got was I think $14,000 commission. 14, 5, 22, and 16, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yes, over 40. So lots to unpack there, man. No, it's good. It's why you're here. I want to dissect this. First and foremost, for people listening who are not with power, and that is a large majority of our audience. I know people right now are going to be in the comments, no way you can get commissions like that. That's a whole different segment. We've done podcasts on that. Our average commission at our company is around 10 grand. I'll speak for Gustavo because we're both really good at sales and we build lots of value that ours are even higher than that. So I will echo 1000% that yes, he has earned 14, 16, even $20,000 plus commissions. I have as well. I've experienced it. So I've seen it. So for those of you with a limiting mindset in the back, keep it to yourself because it's a fact. He can do it. The other thing I love that you said, man, I really do. And that's why I launched this podcast. There are so many people jumping into solar who treat it like a part-time gig, like a play gig. They're not treating it like a business they just owned or they just launched. You started day one, unemployment, had no freaking money. You're scraping pennies together because you knew day one you had to run ads. You knew you needed the leads. You needed people to talk to. Is that from the mobile home sales? Like, where did you know that leads were the key to this?
I learned that running my own company in 2014 before COVID, doing a travel club, selling travel club. And I had to run ads. That was before really social media. So I was doing mail outs and that cost me about 10 grand for every show. So I knew that you had to, it takes money to make money. If you look, for anybody out there that has absolutely no money, look, there's no excuse. Look, right up there. You can see on my wall, if it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. All right. There's plenty of ways to hustle and make money, which is my second hustle, to have the courage, confidence, and self-determination to work hard for what you want in life. Dude, I've done everything. There's no excuse to not have any money. Find it. You can find it. You can find it.
Yeah, I tell new business partners every day, you can either throw money at this or you're going to throw hard work at it.
Both.
Could be a combination of both.
That's what I did.
But it's going to take at least one. If you're not willing to spend money, go beat the pavement. Go call. Do whatever you can do.
I just didn't want to knock doors. I didn't want to beat doors. So I took all my money that I saved $3 grand and threw it into ads online. And I'd already been working virtually. And I've done 149 contracts and I haven't met one of my customers. So right here.
Okay, so let's touch on that. That's another big topic for our audience. I'm doing the same thing. So you're 100% virtual.
I didn't even, my neighbor across the street wanted me to come over and give him a pitch and they'd jump on Zoom.
Dude, okay, fine. You're the first guest I've had on. So I'd say the story every time it comes up. I'm in my home office. Those watching on YouTube, I can see my neighbor's house. If I'm going to look at a house, it better have solar, of course. Even if we were on the deck as I was doing the pitch, he goes, "Dude, can you come over?" I said, "Nope, I'll send you my Zoom link."
Yeah. I'm
the same way, dude. So why is that for you? Why do you prefer it?
Because dude, it's just, you can do everything right here. You don't have to walk anywhere. You don't have to wait. Dude, time is money. Time is money. Yeah. And time, I'm worth couple $1,000 an hour. So to take time to go across the street and sit there for 40 minutes or just driving somewhere, it's time away. I got a whole bunch of shit I need to focus on right here. Everything. I've got my secretaries, I got my RDT, my CRM, my customers calling customers. It's all right here. And it's time.
I think the other big one, yeah, it is time. I was telling someone the other day, I do leads as well. And of course, you're going to have no-shows. Yeah. It's part of it. I'd rather have a no-show on a Zoom where I wait 2 minutes for them to show and then I walk out and kick it with my family or I get back to work and run another one. If I had to drive an hour like some of the solar pros that we talk to on a daily basis, good God. You lost an hour there. You hopefully waited 15, 20 minutes to see if they're going to show. They did. And then it's an hour to get home. Not only that, you're pissed off and probably don't do anything for the next hour or two when you get home. Versus running it under control.
I did windows and gutters in 2004 to 2005 for 1 year. And I was top guy in the office in Raleigh, North Carolina, but it was a miserable existence. It was driving hours and not getting home till midnight, leaving at 6 a.m. every day. Yeah. I screwed that. After that, I said, I'll never do that again. I made $100,000, but dude, virtual.
What's funny too is you're the first guest that's talked about what they're worth an hour. Yeah. I could do a whole training on that. You need to know it because when you know that, you make better decisions. So even though, and if you'll be honest, this is completely unrehearsed. Gustavo was talking about he made $100K, but he worked from 7 in the morning till midnight. You divide your hourly by that. He was making
Yeah.
pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. And I'm
Crazy,
here.
man.
Go ahead.
So, so primarily Facebook, is that still
Yes.
your main source of leads
Yeah,
right now for your?
yeah. And then I have a couple bird dogs ambassadors. I have a bird dog. I'm not going to say where, but I got a bird dog in a certain company that sends me leads. That's not a solar company. It's anyway, but he's it's another thing, guys. You got to network.
Well, it's uncensored, man. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. I've not shared this.
I got a couple bird dogs in some big companies. I get my leads.
So I have a couple. I'm gonna go ahead and share a big tip, man. So all of yours are outside of solar. I have a couple bird dogs in solar that I'm trying to bring over. Who are, for whatever reason, they can't leave. They got deals under contract. They haven't been paid on. That's a big one. A whole nother topic. They'll send me deals because many are with mom and pop shops. They can only service a city, a county, a zip code. And so they'll send me deals. By the way, so if you're with our company, because we can service nationwide, that is a great way to get someone's foot in the door, to get someone to taste how much they can earn with us versus them. I do that strategy all day, every day. They win because they get paid on a deal they couldn't have without us. And then obviously we win because they gave us a lead to go run. So I love that you're talking about that, man. That's really cool. How many, are you comfortable saying how much you're spending right now on Facebook per month?
150 a day to 200 a day.
And then how many approximate leads is that giving you?
Day. Saturday and Sunday is probably double that. But I got 18 ads I run. I run since the beginning. I've run battery ads. That's why I probably sold. I counted. I think it's over 250 batteries last year for power. Wow, so most of my deals have 2 or 3 batteries on them. I'd say 30% are just solar only, but most of them are batteries and solar because that's what I focus on. And the reason I did that in the beginning is because people that want batteries, only 2 kinds of people that want batteries: people that absolutely have outages all the time, and people that have so much money they don't know what to do with, so you just want to buy a couple batteries.
And either way you win.
And the good thing with that is they've already got solar, so that means their credit's good. They've already bought solar. More times out of 10 either finance it, which is good, or they pay cash. So either way, and they already know how much batteries cost, so I can hit them right away. Batteries are 15 grand a pop. Boom. And they already know that. So it's not as hard of a sale. Yeah.
I love that, man. It's really smart with the lead spend that you're doing to have those almost like doors that you already got to knock down because they have to pre-qualify themselves, if you will, based on the ads you're running, which I love. A question I have to ask, man, because there's a lot of people right now that are like, oh my gosh, I could throw $200 a day at this. I could throw 50 a day at this. It still takes work. Yes. These leads are coming in and you're on the phones, correct? Can we talk about that? What does that look like, your daily operation to raw leads?
So I hired a secretary in the Philippines at $5 an hour, $4 an hour back 2 years ago. She's been with me since the beginning. And now we have 3 others. So now we have 4. And they get on. So we have artificial intelligence that is conversating with our leads. And then our girls are calling them to get the electric bill. And then I'm calling them too. But mostly I end up doing it because I'm good at what I do. And so it's recorded for them and they copy it and they try to do what I do. But yeah, I just get on the phone and the way I answer it is I'll say, hey, this is Gustavo with Top Solar Broker. You answered my ad about a day ago about the new IQ8 microinverters. How can I help you? Just like that, because you want to say right away, hey, you reached out to me. You filled out the ad. You wanted information. So you got to be real right away from the beginning. Say, hey, how can I help you? You wanted my help. How can I help you?
It's a huge tip for those of you listening. I would rewind and write it down. He just changed. He changed the script. Now he's following up with them because they asked him to. It changed the whole play of this call.
And you got to take control right away there. And they're like, yeah, you filled out our survey. You wanted to know about the IQ8 inverters a couple days ago at 2:00. And oh yeah, I was looking at solar and okay, great. How much is it? Listen, do me a favor. I just need a copy of your electric bill. Make sure you take a picture of it with the graph so I can see how many kilowatts of electricity you purchased from the grid last year, so I can accurately build you a correct size system. We don't want to overcharge you and we don't want to undercharge you because you want to zero your bill, right? Yeah. Okay, great. Then yeah, so just give me that bill. I'm going to send you an email right now with some videos and answer some there'll be some answers to the questions you already asked about the IQ8 inverters. Just respond to that with a copy of your lecture bill, and I'll be glad to get your proposal here in the next 24 hours. Okay, awesome. I'll be looking for that email, Gus. Great. Boom. And I sent it to him right there. Yeah.
Sick, dude. Okay, so a lead comes in on. I know you're a numbers guy. Obviously, you track this high level. How many times are you having to call that lead before you get one on the phone on average?
Don't get me wrong, guys. I wasn't up. I am a closer, but when you're online, it's not. I will say this: it's not like working in a house. So there's not that transfer of energy like it would be in person. If I was selling in person, I would sell a lot more. Okay, but with online, it's a numbers game. So you're able to, you want to transfer that energy of the phone as best you can. It's not as good as in person. I get that. However, I would say it's a 10% close on virtually, maybe 10 to 15%.
Is that 10% of the leads you get you're closing? Is that what you mean?
I have to look at it. I should have had these numbers ready for you, Aaron. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's all good, man. I know people are always curious on that.
It's a lot lower than in person, guys, okay? But you're getting a lot more opportunities.
As it should be.
And
it's also scalable. You can't, in person, you can only be one place. The fact you've outsourced 3 or 4 people in the Philippines, we call them ISAs from our real estate days, inside sales associates or agents, depending on that, which is really smart. Okay, so that lead comes in. You're having that conversation. It sounds like it's short. Your goal, and correct me if I'm wrong, your goal is to collect utility.
And you're going to get.
By the way, those listening, please note his goal on that initial call was not to sell a battery, was not to sell a system. You're not doing that over the phone. He doesn't have enough information. He's very focused. His goal is to get the utility bill. That's the next step in the process. Once you get the bill, are you setting that appointment inside of 24 hours like your script suggests?
Yeah, like right away.
Okay. So how long are you telling them to block on that Zoom?
So I tell them, so here's the other thing. I've transitioned to not really doing Zooms anymore.
I had a feeling you were going to go there, man. So what are you doing, bro?
15 minutes maybe, tops.
Crazy. So you're not even, are you sending him a proposal prior to the call?
I'll send him a proposal. I'll send him a spec sheet on the panel. I'm selling. Then guys, everybody here listening, if you don't have Chat GPT, get it right now. Right now, while you're watching this video, go ahead and sign up, $20 a month. Then what I do, just tips for all you out there, I go ahead and I copy the entire proposal right there. I plug it in Chat GPT. I say, hey, write me a email selling my customer on why they should do business with Gustavo Odeber and Power, and list the top 10 reasons. And then,
so you're copying the exact language.
Paste it in there.
Dude.
Boom.
Mic drop. Mic
and
drop.
It takes 30 seconds. I copy and paste that, put in an email. I call the customer. Hey, I sent you an email. Now I really want you to pay attention. I worked 45 minutes on this. I really worked hard. I really want you to pay attention and read this thoroughly. Okay. Boom. Next, and then I go right to another deal. Boom, boom. So it's
okay. So once they read that, you're hopping on a 15-minute phone.
So then they'll text me, or I'll follow, or Rena will follow up with them in a couple hours or in the evening and say either I will or Rena will. And just, hey, did you get the proposal? I'm sure you have some questions. Let's schedule a 15-minute phone call with Gus to answer any of your questions. Boom. Yeah.
Okay. We got to dissect this, dude. So are you finding? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. A couple things I love. One is you're giving them what they want. Most people, especially at internet lead, they want the proposal. They want the pricing. Are you building, how are you building that in terms of commission? Are you sending it aggressive to them? Are you building it with cushion to where you want it and then you'll tweak later? Because you don't know yet. You haven't really met with them other than collect the bills. What are you doing?
Call where their mind is and what kind of personality they have. Just some real quick, guys. There's 4 personalities out there. There's the owl, there's the koala, there's the bear, and there's the parrot. All right. The bear is your CEO type, drives a Mercedes. Your koala is your school teacher, drives a Volvo. And what was the other one I said? Yeah. The parrot is the guy like me. It's the salesman. It just doesn't shut the hell up. Just all right. So you got to figure out which personality you're dealing with. If you're dealing with the CEO bear, he's going to come at you aggressive. And if you're dealing with the koala, the school teacher, then they're going to be, and if you're dealing with the owl, that's the engineer analytical type. So there's 4 personalities. You just got to figure out which personality you're dealing with. And then once you figure that out, that's how I'll play it. So if it's an engineer, then yeah, I'm going to be real specific on he's going to get spec sheets and all this. If it's the bear driver, he's not going to read any of that shit. He's probably not even going to read my email. He just wants to see the price. Boom, boom.
Bottom line.
So I need to find that out. If I know that it's a bear, if it's a bear CEO personality uses a price, I know that, hey, if it's a bear combination parrot personality, then I'm going to have to skip all the technical shit and just blast them with the proposal and give them 3 choices. Never give more than 3 choices. That's it. 3 proposals.
What are 3 choices? Give me an example.
You never
of what
want to give too much information, because if you give too much information, then confused buyers don't buy. Confused.
Yep. So give me an example. I'm a lead.
Right,
you got my bill. You're sending me over the proposal.
I'll give a cash proposal, and then I'll give them a sun gauge 9.74 25-year proposal, and then I give them a 5-year 1.99 maybe, or PPA, or.
And then all 3 of those you're going to break down in that initial email.
Hey guys, here's the 3 choices I think. If it's a bear, here's the 3 choices I think you should go with. Boom, right there. Bam, send it all. That's it. Nothing else.
And then the call to action for that is hit me back as soon as you're done and let me know which one.
Hit me back and let me know what you think, which proposal, which choice you think's better, fits your, And he'll either email me back or call me or text me and say, hey, I got 3 other proposal bids. They're lower than yours. Okay, let me find out. If I'm on the phone with a customer, if he says to me, hey, I'm getting bids and I've got 2 already, or blah, 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 then I'm going to make sure that, depending on their personality, I'm probably going to go at a 0.6 or 0.8 margin. And then I'm going to send the Power Care 30-year warranty specs with that proposal.
Yep.
Because that's going to build up. But in general, I'll stay at 0.8. But if you take all my 149 deals, I did it the other day. I'm averaging 8,200 per deal. Wow. So it depends on if you have an analytical client or you have a lackadaisical, easygoing. If you have a salesmen are the best ones to sell because they'll just buy anything from you.
Yeah. You know, what I love about this, man, one of my similar journey, I've only been here a year, but one of my frustrations is, and I know it's part of what we do, it makes us great, is doing the same thing over and over. Oh my gosh, that 30-minute presentation with the slide deck over and over 4 or 5 times a day, it drove me nuts. So I actually, I recorded it, man. I'll go ahead and share it. Yes. So I shared at a convention, one other person, Jabari sat, he was blown away. He said, oh my gosh, because I wanted my time back. So I sent a recording of me doing that. Kept it somewhat general, so it wasn't just their proposal, but it was enough to where they felt like it was for them. I send that. I built an app where I can track it, how much they watch. I said, first step is you watch this. We'll cut down 30 minutes out of our time when we meet so we can only focus on your house, your proposal.
You need to send me how do I do that? So you need to show me how to do that, the tracking thing, because I don't do that. I need to know how to do that.
Huge.
Because I said
first time I did it
too. I've been doing that for 9 months. I send that video.
That's awesome. Yeah. So first time I did it with the tracking app, this lady, God bless her, she watched it 17 times. No exaggeration on my kids. 17 times. As a salesperson, if you don't think I was like dying to get on that Zoom, that thing was already sold. And the other cool part, we talk about getting our time back. I've had a lot of people, let's be honest, this is transparency, where they sound excited, but they didn't watch it. Because of the app, I even tell them, hey guys, I just noticed either went to junk or your schedule's just been hectic, but I noticed you haven't watched the video that you both promised, that you both committed you were going to watch prior to us meeting today at 4. Can you stop whatever you're doing and invest 21 minutes in yourself? And it's a Hail Mary. I'll try one more time and I'll end up getting another 50% on that. If I don't, chance of them showing that appointment, what I have found over the last 6 months of running that model, are really low. But guess what? I'd rather know they're a week appointment hours, if not a day before, versus just sitting here twiddling your thumbs waiting on a Zoom.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have a very low show up rate for Zoom. It's hard to get them.
Wow. Is that part of the reason you pivoted to giving them the proposal and whetting their appetite?
It goes against all my sales for the last 20 years. It used to be, I give a presentation. It doesn't matter. Always an hour presentation.
Yeah.
That's good if you're in a group with 20 people and I'm doing it, and I've done that before. But it's a numbers game, and it adds up. Obviously, I'm almost to $1 million. I'm over 800,000 commission. So it's obviously what I'm doing is working. So you
can't argue with that.
Now, do I miss a lot? I'm sure I do. Do I miss more than like Joe Gossett, who goes in houses in that area and hit a whole neighborhood. And Joel's really good. One of my best friends. I love him to death. Joel, if you watch this, I love you, brother. Obaldo, if you're watching this, I love you. And
Not if, they better be. I know both of them.
And Joel, and I always say Joel, sorry, Joel. He'll go in a house and he's like a bulldog and he just doesn't let go. And I admire that about him. He's sold me shit on the phone. I'm just like, dude, quit selling me. And I'm like, I'm ready to give him my credit card. It was like for some lead stuff or something. And Joel's on there selling me this guy. And I had my credit card out. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. I already have leads. What? Anyway, Joel's really good.
I love it.
But God bless him. His closing is going to be much higher because he's in person. And so if you're going to do,
but he's going to have fewer at bats because he's in person.
Exactly. And that's 2 hours of time. Yeah. So
that's a big one for me. It's no knock on that model. I know him very well as well. Yeah. He kills it. I thought he did a great job at our convention, by the way. And I told him that but that's not my model. My model is more yours because of scalability. I want to be able to replace myself. It is, and this could be a limiting belief, but it's very hard for me to go out and find a Joel.
Yes.
Very hard. Versus, can I find someone that can use ChatGPT? Someone that I can teach a 15-minute close over the phone? You freaking bet
this is the future.
And that's what we're doing.
It's all digital. We're all going all digital. Yeah. And this is where you and I saw this years ago where we're going to be very successful because we got to get out of this mindset that you have to be here, you have to drive here. Those days are gone. I believe that we're in a new, totally different universe, and it's moving only that way. 100% digital. It's where it's at. It's where it's going to be.
Facts, man. We only have a few minutes left. I want to touch on, now that you threw that wrinkle with the new model you're running. You get them on a phone. So let's use me. You're on the phone. You sent me the proposal. You leverage ChatGPT, which is badass. You sent me over 3 different things: 2 financing, high interest, moderate interest, and then a cash deal. I sent you a text back. Hey, I got a couple questions. I think I'm going to go cash on this. Or no, I'm going to use financing for this example. You schedule that 15-minute phone call with me. How are you closing me? Verbally, are you doing it? Obviously you are, but then are you having me fill out the financing? What is that?
I start off right away. Do you have any questions you watch the videos? Yeah, I watched your Enphase video, watched your Franklin battery video, watched your 23-minute presentation about power. And it depends on who I'm talking to. The close is always different. It's of course overcome their objections. And I overcome every objection to where you get them in the frying pan to where they can't say no, because if they're in the frying pan, they can't jump out. But yeah, so usually it's price, and it's a lot of times I get the subcontracting thing. I've done research on power. Now, if they're analytical, like I said, every close is different. If it's an engineer, they're going to look up power, BBB. They're going to see the complaints about certain things, or in general, just because we're a big company, but we have an A+ rating, and they're going to see some of that. They might see some of that, and they'll say, well, you subcontract, and you got to go right away to overcome that objection. No, we hold a general contractor's license in Arizona, and we don't subcontract. What we do is we partner with local installers. We do use local installers. So 9 times out of 10, the local installer you want to get a price from, we're using, we just negotiate a better deal. That's how I overcome that, but usually I'll get that.
Okay, so we're through the objections. How are you getting me to fill out the paperwork? Is that over the phone?
So then right on the phone. So we're through the objections. I like the payment. I said, look, okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a DocuSign, okay? And I need you to, if you're fine with the payment, I need you to go ahead and sign all of this today. Because next week, Monday, every 2 weeks, prices go up, inflation, and I want to lock this in right now with the IQ8 inverters because they're doing a price increase next week. So we need to get this knocked out in the next couple days. Are you okay with that? Yeah, absolutely. Great. So I'm going to send you this DocuSign over. If you're comfortable, let's go ahead and get that out of the way so I can at least get a site survey order and lock in the pricing so the prices don't change on you. You don't want the prices to change. I don't either. So let's just lock it in.
Love it, man. High level. So are you doing the pre-qual for, let's say, Mosaic or Good Leap? Are you doing the pre-qual on the phone where you ask them the 4 or 5 questions, then send them docs?
So I want to find out what's more important to them. So I'll ask them in the second phone call is once I've got the electrically seen the proposal and I discuss it with them. I said, what's more important to you? Is it more important to you price or more important to you payment? Because I got to explain how that works. If it's payment, If it's payment, then we can have a discussion on that. If it's price, and then we'll have a discussion on that. But what I recommend, and this is usually I do this, the last 15 deals, guys, everybody out there, the last 15 deals I did are PPAs. So I've totally transitioned to PA and lease. If I can't do a PA and lease, then I'm going to Sungage right now. So just FYI, everybody out there, learn Sonova, PPAs, and Everbright, because that's your bread and butter. You can make so much more money and save the customer so much more money.
By the way, Solar Sales Uncensored community, let us know in the chat, either on the podcast or on the YouTube version, if you want him to come back and talk about how he's selling PPAs and leases. I think that would be a killer class, but let's you guys and gals tie him down on that, because he didn't know we were going to do it. So let us know in the chat you wanted to come back on that. I think it'd be a killer episode for sure. That's sick, man. I'm blown away. I say it a lot, and this was one of those that really echoed it. You took the gloves off, man. You peeled back the curtain. You let us know what was really working in your business, some of the struggles you've had, where you're pivoting, where you're throwing your money at, which I love. Any advice for someone maybe that's like us, myself a year ago, yourself 2 years ago, that perhaps is a high-level salesperson? They've been successful in other vehicles, and they have that itch to try solar, but they just haven't done it yet. Any advice you'd give to someone?
It is capitalism at its best. You got a manufacturer who manufactures solar panels, okay? You've got a company like Power that procures them. So the manufacturer's making money here in the United States or wherever you get your panels. Then you have a power company like Power Platform that makes money, okay? Finding people like us to push the products, and then we make a commission, all right, and we partner with local installers so they make money, all right? The customer's saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everybody's saving and making money while saving the planet. What's better than that? Right?
Mic drop, brother.
What's a better job than that? Everybody making money and saving the planet. Doesn't get fucking freaking better than that, dude.
Yeah, I love it. Gustavo, I can't thank you enough, man. I speak for our audience. You absolutely killed it. This is going to go down as a fire episode for sure. I'll make sure I throw your links in the description so people can reach out if they have any questions. But once again, thank you, man. I know your schedule is jam-packed, and I really appreciate you sharing all the insights and nuggets that you do on a daily basis that has made you one of the top solar professionals.
And just say one more thing real quick. Anybody that's coming on your team or responds to this or comes on my team, whatever, I'll be glad to help anybody on Aaron's team. I'll be glad to show you the ads I use. I don't care. Look, there's so much business out there. There's going to be we haven't even touched the crack the ice. There's going to be so much business for all of us. I don't mind sharing.
It's so true. It's about living in abundance, man, versus living in scarcity. I love that you said that. Once again, man, thank you for everyone listening. Obviously, we do this for free. We do it to help pour into this industry that we're both passionate about, to help each and every one of you level up and make more money and be more successful. The one way to repay us would be to like, share, or subscribe to this podcast. It would mean the world to us. Gustavo, once again, thank you so much, man. For everyone else, be good, be safe, and God bless.
Love you,
we'll
brother.
talk soon.